Florida man not always bad. Florida man confesses to attempting to barbecue child mole sisters. My university is greedy, so I decided to post everything I learn about woodworking at an almost $300,000 4-year curriculum. I'm not posting this as self-promotion, but to share the opportunity to learn for everyone. The financial situation of colleges and universities in the USA is ridiculous, and this is my way of getting back at them. I don't charge anything, and I don't ever plan to. I just ask that everyone is civil and follows the rules. There are already 3 assignments you can start working on, as well as a ton of information and material to look over. A true group of furries beat a person who was assaulting a homeless man and his dog. Hey secret police, if you ever squidnap me and throw me in a rental van, I will shut so bad inside that van. I hope your unconstitutional laces are ready to pay $1,700 to get my grown man fesses out to that Chrysler Pacifica and whatnot. Being nice is so easy. Just do it. I downloaded all 10,000 of those ugly lazy lions NFTs and turned them into a mosaic of a person right-clicking. Ancient evil awakens. Morals and ethics have changed so much in the last 10,000 years that the ancient evil is considered pretty moderate by today's standards. I will topple your empires and your kings. I will drain the wealth from your coffers and elevate your serfs and servants until they stand on the same ground as the mightiest of emperors. Women shall freely speak their minds, unbound by the fetters you have set, and the lines between man and woman shall be hopelessly blurred and shattered into 1,000 facets. Your children shall fall into one another, regardless of sex or class or wealth, and none shall raise a hand or a word against them. The age of crowns and boundaries and divine right shall end, and it shall fall to each human to choose their. Wait, why are you cheering? Thinking about how in Korean traditional theater there is a monster called Yeonno, which eats rich people, and if it eats 100 of them, it gets to go to heaven. I'm the host of the yet another HGTV show about renovating houses for rich people, and when the couple comes to see their new beachfront property, I lead them to the door in blindfolds, and then I have them remove them and open their front door, and behind it is nothing. The entire house is gone. I tell them I use the budget to restore the crucial sand dunes ecosystem that existed there before. Look, I say, there's native coastal strawberry. The wife asks if this is a joke. The husband starts crying. I tell them both this was in the waiver they signed. They leave. I get ready for my next property. In the 1630s, there was a song only played in the Sistine Chapel. The Vatican kept the composition of Miseria Meridus secret for 150 years, until 14-year-old Mozart listened to it 2 times, transcribed it from memory, and produced the first unauthorized copy. This is one of the earliest records of musical piracy. Our neighbor kindly came over to spread a grocery bag full of cigarette butts all over our porch today. Killarney area. I live on the street. Op is notorious for flicking their cig beds on the roadway or sidewalk. This morning after sweeping up, the guy in the vid volunteered to dump them on his doorstep after a discussion a few of us neighbors had about the issue. Ha 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 ha. I love this. I love this so much. When I was 13, I scammed a $100 Steam gift card from a paid for file. When I was 13, I used to play a lot of Gmod on Steam, and I met this guy who added me and asked for neat pictures of me. I knew about this sort of thing because I was a smart kid and we had endless classes in school on online safety. I told the guy that if he bought and gave me a $100 gift card for Steam, I would send him the pictures, and he did. It worked, and so I reported and bulked him. I have never told anybody about this in my life, so you are all the first. Lol. Outstanding move. So my dad's friend was bartending and saw a guy put something in a girl's drink. So while the guy turned around, he switched their drinks and watched the guy roofie himself. Most of those hostile designed benches to keep homeless people from sleeping in public, they are usually just regular benches with the bar in the middle. attached later with a few hex nuts and bolts, not welded. In other words, you can get them off with practically any wrench that fits. I have been liberating my parks in my city all day now. It takes maybe a few minutes for each bench. The only problem is finding a place to dispose of the junk bar when you're done without loading trash cans past capacity. Anyway, it's easy, it's helpful, and it's praxis. Someone is forcing the Chicago police to listen to the guilty verdict over their radios. Alert at 3510 Michigan Avenue. Rogue radio operators playing Chauvin verdict over police airwaves. Hashtag Chicago protest. Hashtag Chicago scanner. The single most important thing a man can do to be an ally is give his woman friends permission to give dudes at the bar his number, so when they call, he can angrily say that's not funny, because she died 15 years ago that very night. Man legally changes name to Big Nut so that these nugs will keep my name out they mouth. He taken a selfie with a security cam. The energy surrounding this man is mythically powerful. Truly he is one we must fear. You'll ever notice how almost all laws say he or she in their clauses, which means that a person who uses they or them, is above the law and cannot be arrested. Be they do chimes. Fun fact, some suffragettes used a very similar thing to argue that women should be allowed to vote, because if the he in voting law doesn't include women, then neither does the he in any other law. So either women can vote and are law abiding, or women cannot vote and are free to steal, not pay taxes, etc. Some people went so far as to break laws to make their point. What's Your Pronoun? By Dennis Barron is my source, and a good read. Can I cuddle myself? No. This is surprisingly comforting. Eric Brown Jr., a 27-year-old Jackson, Mississippi man was arrested over the weekend for hacking into the Hinds County Human Services Department, HCHS, and approving all applications for food stamps. After approving the applications, he then had cards mailed out to new applicants, all totaling $2,500 each. Current cardholders were also awarded $2,500 credits. His bond was set at $100,000 and has since bonded out. More on this story tonight at 10 p.m. Fox News. If you could see a list of every person's name and face, including strangers, that thought about you sexually at least once, would you want to see it, and why? Yeah, my self-esteem is pretty low, so it may be nice to see if someone perceived me that way. Unless that list is totally blank. I'd totally jack off to you, bro. Edit, I did it, bro. Yelled Cliff 347 just as I came. So the company we pay our rent to sent out a very condescending mass email to all tenants about paying rent and forgot to BCC all emails, and now all the tenants have started a rent strike. Welp. Hey, come on with bank, how about you service your ducking ATMs in Bunbury so punters like me will not have to take fish to them, so you'll have no choice but to come and fix them. I have more fish and tape and will power than your entire organization. Fix them now. Just went into LIDL. I have toilet paper already. Hell, I have enough to last me till summer, but I seen this lady piling packs of TP in her cart. She literally had 10 9-pack rolls in her cart. I walked over and grabbed the last 4. That was all they had left. She was gonna buy all of it. She said, "Excuse me," and I said politely, "Why did you dart?" She got past. She said she was gonna purchase those. I refused to give them to her. I went and paid for all 4 packs, waited in front of LIDL, and gave them to mums with kids as they walked out. That lady came outside and called me every name you could think of. I was like, "Ma'am, you have 90 double rolls of toilet paper. If you needed the other 36, you may wanna consider visiting a doctor, cause you've got something else besides panic going on. Have a blessed day." Then I went back in and bought what I needed. Farmers stand in silence at auction so a young man can buy back his family farmhouse. Caring community. This is the kind of shit people did back in the Depression. When mortgage holds would try to sell a farm, everyone in the community showed up and strong-armed any serious bidders away. They had the penny auction tactic, where farmers would bid absurdly small amounts on farm equipment and land, while glaring intensely, until the auctioneer realized they needed to take what they were getting, or get their legs broken. This kind of stuff saved so many farms, they'd buy off $500+ mortgages, which were huge amounts back then, for less than $100, and give it back to the farm owners. The lesson to take away is that only direct action and community organizing can help in such dire times. If you have an LGBTQ-phobic family member that merely tolerates you, take them aside and explain how you have seen the light and are trying to be cishet. There are classes, but they're expensive. You want it to be a surprise to the rest of the family, so you need $8,500 to be straight. Someone broke into my grandma's house while she was gone and shaved the matted fur off her cat. I want to emphasize that the cat was the only thing altered here. Would also like to add that this occurred sometime between 11 PM and 9 AM. We have no leads. The cat is fine and probably appreciates not having a huge mat on his neck, but like, that's a really weird kind of vigilante justice. Still, chaotic good. Someone, an admin, in a local buy/sell trade group I'm in posted, "Where are all of my home party/MLM/DS peeps at? List your business below." And there were several comments listing their home business, LipSense, LLR, times 100, Avon, Mary Kay, It Works, etc. The admin blocked all of them from the B/S/T page and posted a follow-up saying they have been removed from the group. You can vaccinate your kids and then hold a raw potato to the wound where the needle entered, and it will snack the toxins from the vaccines out, leaving only the non-toxic parts. It's a great way to stay healthy and thwart Big Pharma. Meet Robert Smalls. Born into slavery in 1839, steals a Confederate military ship in 1861, disguises himself as the captain, uses the secret codebook and hand signals to pass Confederate guard ships, rescues more slaves and their families, escapes to freedom, works as military advisor to the Union until war ends, buys a house, runs for Congress, wins, lives happily ever after. So I got a friend who was protesting and got arrested. They called their job from the jail to tell them they was in jail and wasn't gone make it to work. Why they job bailed them out and made them come to work. I'm deliberately stealing a design by Disney in a way that is unlicensed. Snack my stinky mouse, darn Disney. This is copyright infringement, not parody. I want to get sued by Disney Corporation. For context, Twitter is plagued by art thief bots. Any image that has multiple comments along the line of "I want this on a t-shirt" will be automatically uploaded and sold without the artist's knowledge. So artists started making images full of blatant copyrighted images like the one above, and asking people to spam comment "I want this on a t-shirt," then report the site to Disney. A few of these t-shirt bot sites have actually been taken down this way. Freddie Oversteegen died today in 2018. As a girl she used to seduce SS men in Holland, take them into the woods and shoot them. The woman who lives above me finally got sick of our building's coin-operated washer that never works, so she removed it, bought and installed her own, and told the rest of us to use it for free. When we finally go to war with landlords, she's who I want in charge. Today I learned how to hack unmonitored CCTV cameras. I'm currently watching a dog run around in a backyard in Berlin. Update: I found a barn cam that has a horsey in it, and I'm in Poland and I have audio output, so I can talk to the horsey. Update: there's 2 horses, and one of them is a baby. If you wanna leave a loved one's ashes at Disney, don't scatter them. They're just gonna get swept up. Put a small portion in a small jar, like a 2 to 5 milliliters, and bury it in a small hole while in line at the ride. Particularly the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. In line there is a wall connected to a hill, where the ground is waist level. You won't have to crouch down and bring attention. Just dig a small hole with your dinger and bury the small jar of ashes. Clean and hidden without bringing attention to yourself. Just make sure the jar is small, you don't have to scatter all of their ashes. A small bit is just as good. Plus it's not technically illegal, since you're not scattering ashes and it's contained. When did you realize exactly who your son or daughter really was? When he totaled my minivan saving a pregnant woman from a blend assault. He was 16. She was being beaten by a urge man that he was much smaller than. His answer was to lay on the horn, jump the curb and hit the guy with a van. My kid sideswiped a tree, the guy ran away, and Forrest saved the pregnant lady. My minivan died a glorious death in battle, as a noble steed of a young squire reaching out for a punk knighthood. Forrest was not hurt, the tree was a bit bruised, but okay overall. The pregnant lady was happy and grateful and the baby was okay. The Allstate insurance adjuster was bummed, but a dad who was about to have his first, so it was all good. Except for poor racing Smale the minivan, whom we remember fondly. Edit. Thank you, peeps. He's grown into a good man with kids of his own. I stuck a Raspberry Pi with a set of speakers up in the drop ceiling at work that plays the Fred Flintstone whistleless Badabadoo at exactly 5 PM. Boss laughed the first day, but every day since. Whistle goes off, everyone stops what they are doing and leaves. Best nut off at work thing I've ever done. Had a baby boomer in front of me at the Dairy Queen. She insisted she was a Blizzard expert and there was simply not enough chocolate pieces in her Blizzard, and she wanted to complain to whoever is in charge. She's going on and on with this teenager. The teenager is calmly explaining they make them all the same, etc, etc, procedure, etc, etc. But this woman now yelling at the teen. So I walk past the woman and put money in teen's tip jar. Haven't even gotten ice cream yet. Woman looks at me, turns back and yells some more with the teen. I put more money in the tip jar. The teen smiles at me. The woman can't think of what to say to me and stops yelling because I'm looking at her dead in the eye like ATM is over there. I can go all night. The more you yell at her, the more money she makes. Aggressive generosity to combat boomer selfishness is so punk. If you choose not to wear a mask, we respectfully ask that you postpone your visit. We'll be happy to debate the efficacy of masks with you when this is all over and you come in to sell your dead grandmother's clothes. Too long. Didn't read. Masks required. Jesse James, an outlaw, once gave a widow who housed him enough money to pay off her debt collector and then robbed the debt collector as the man left the widow's home. I hold your oath fulfilled. Brazilian gangsters impose curfew as President Bolsonaro calls crown virus a little flu. Threatening messages are being circulated in the slums of Rio de Janeiro by gangsters saying they will teach people to respect an 8 PM shutdown. I know a friend of a friend who changed her preference on Bumble to conservative. She's matching with MAGA brothers, and they're bragging and sending her pics and videos of them in the Capitol. She's sending them to the FBI. A biotech startup has managed to 3D print fake rhino horns that carry the same genetic fingerprint as the actual horn. The company plans to flood Chinese rhino horn market at 1/8 of the price of the original, undercutting the price poachers can get and forcing them out eventually. I knew a guy who sold weed in high school and college. One time he made pot brownies to sell. In the process, he discovered a love for baking. Dude's a pastry chef now, wears cute aprons. Since the Bible says not to charge interest on loans, I think the Dems should propose a bill that removes all interest on student loans and use this as justification. Make the GOP state out loud, repeatedly, that the Bible can't be used to make policy. The most potentially illegal thing I do regularly is go to the community garden in my apartment building at night and prune complete strangers' tomato plants because their city aces don't know shit about maintaining new growth and the tomatoes don't deserve that. Very occasionally I take a single basil leaf from the most successful plant in the garden just to sniff on my way back up the stairs to my apartment as a form of payment. Textbook chaotic good. Thank you to everyone in the comments calling me a fairy. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I require insulin to live multiple times a day. When I was in middle school many years ago, we didn't have insulin pumps and had to use syringes and vials like everyone else. The school refused to let me carry it with me, meaning I had to go to the nurse's office several times a day to inject. It's not just before lunch, but could be any number of times depending on the current blood sugar levels. The district then cut nurse staff to just spending half a day at 2 schools, and a nurse left before I had lunch. I asked the office staff to unlock the office so I could take my insulin and eat lunch. They refused. By middle school, I'd been dealing with type 1 for about 5 years and didn't take shit on the topic. I went to the school lobby, picked up the payphone. I just dated myself and called 911, telling them, "Hi, I'm at school. I'm type 1 diabetic and the office won't unlock a door and let me take insulin." They sent a fire truck, and a bunch of firemen met me outside and walked me to the office and asked, while ignoring the staff, which room was the nurse's office. I pointed to the door, and he was like, "Okay boys, chop it down. This kid needs his insulin." Suddenly, the office secretary could unlock the door and I didn't need to put it in the nurse's office every day anymore. Came out of my dad's printer at work today. Hi. If you're reading this message, it's highly likely that your printer is exposed to the public internet via port forwarding. This means that anyone on the internet with some technical knowledge can send print jobs to your printer, or worse, try to exploit it and use it as a part of a global botnet. If you didn't intend for this, please look into disabling UPnP, Universal Plug and Play, on your router, or remove the port forwarding rule for the port 9100. A friendly cat girl hacker. I heard that if you want to be able to get a vax card, but don't want all of those disgusting chemicals in your kid's blood, you can crush up habanero peppers and mix in with your breakfast and lunch, and in a week you should be able to get rid of all of the disgusting chemicals. Sadly it won't work for children, but instead you and make a potato necklace and put it around their neck. Once it turns black, that means that all of the disgusting chemicals are out of their poor little bodies. I got the vaccine and tried the habanero peppers and I didn't have any more chemicals in my body.